Hello, I'm Executive Chef Joseph Schultze. Welcome to our kitchen. Today I'd like to share with you my recipe and procedure, or one of them, for a pork roulade. I have on the channel another one in a Hungarian way, or Hungarian variation, but on this one, it's gonna be a little bit different. It's not only gonna be a roulade, it's also gonna be kind of a little riff on the Italian classic porchetta. We're gonna take a pork loin and I'm gonna wrap it with an Iberico Secreto steak and with herbs, fennel, garlic, and we're gonna cook it in a clay pot. Join me now as I show you how flavorful and easy this dish is to make. Let's preheat a saute pan over medium-high heat. Go ahead and add some oil. And we're gonna begin to cook our fennel. We will go ahead and saute this for about 4 or 5 minutes. Now, I will go ahead and add my onions. Season it with a little salt and add some of our shaved garlic in there. We're gonna go ahead and continue to cook this until everything becomes very aromatic. Well, now it's cooked for those few minutes. Let's go ahead and add our dry white wine. And we're gonna go ahead and put the lid on it. Reduce the heat to medium. And then we will let this simmer for 15 minutes. After that point, we will remove the cover, stir it around, and check for the tenderness. Well, while the fennel and onions are cooking for our stuffing, let's go ahead and take our pork loin and begin to let's cut it open and roll it out. So starting about 3/4 of an inch from the edge here, gently take your knife, nice long strokes, gentle, don't force it, and just go ahead and slice through your pork loin and unrolling it as you're going. Now I will make little cuts like this on the inside of it. And this is a trick I do with my porchetta. It enables us to roll it better without it, if you roll it tighter. Well, now that the meat is ready for assembly, let's go ahead and season with a little bit of salt. Be careful not to over season it because we're going to be adding mustard and some other things that are already salted, so you want to be certain that you don't over salt. Let's go ahead and add mustard. Now I personally recommend, or I personally love a nice grain mustard like this. This is more of a medium grain, but feel free to use whichever your favorite mustard is. I find that, Dusseldorf, or a German Dusseldorf, or even a Dijon, French Dijon works well. And something brown mustard is what I recommend, or whole grain. It's just so much nicer. Okay, now I will add garlic. Now parsley. Now that we're set up this far, let's go and take care of our fennel. Well, here we are after 15 minutes. Still quite a bit of wine left in there. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove the lid and we're gonna allow this to continue to cook until it's all set. So you can tell by the sound that the liquid is no longer there, and it's searing, it's sauteing. So this is au sec, it means almost dry. So right now, we're gonna remove it from the heat and we're gonna cool this down in the refrigerator. So now that our fennel mixture has cooled down, let's go ahead and layer it inside our pork loin. Just a nice even layer across the entire surface. Gently pressing down to compact everything. Next, let's go ahead and take our Iberico. Let's lay that in there. That piece there. Let's go ahead and season with salt a little bit. And now we're ready to roll it up. Okay, to roll it up, what I do is I roll it backwards. As the way I cut it open, I start with the last cut and work its way back. That way everything should naturally fall back into place, you know, and give you a nice little tighter of a roll. And there we go. So now we have that rolled up. With some of the filling falling out, I'll push back in place once I get it tied with the butcher's twine. On the roulade or porchettas, I'm okay with overloading it, even though it does make it a little messy, but it's just so much flavor and it's so well worth it. Now, let's get our twine around here, pull it and snug it. Loop it, go underneath, work your way back, pull up, and continue until you have tied the entire length of the pork loin. Now we got the end, I will flip it over and I will take my twine and I will loop under each crossing thread, like so. And this is just going to help keep everything snug and tight, because we have to sear this. And I want to make sure that everything stays in place and not fall apart on you. And then all this work is for nothing. And now we just tie it with the extra string is left there. Snip the end. And now I will take some of this filling and then I will stuff it back inside. We're now ready to load our clay pot. For those of you who have never used clay pots, there's some very important rules. Number one, never sear in a clay pot. Cold product goes into a cold pot, goes into a cold oven. Never put the cold clay pot into a hot oven. So there will be no preheating. Number two, probably even more important, always soak your clay pot and lid 20 to 30 minutes prior to using. If it's a first time on this clay pot, if it were brand new, I would recommend soaking it overnight to ensure that all those pores absorb the water. And also, clay pots are designed for wet cooking methods, not dry cooking methods or roasting. It's definitely for braising. So now, I always like to throw some onion, carrot, mirepoix, anything like that at the bottom. Helps with a little more flavor and also aromatic. So we throw them in like so. I will also add some herbs, rosemary, thyme, marjoram, whatever you like. Feel free to use your favorites. Now that I had a little bit of that fennel and onion left over, I'm going to go ahead and throw that in there too. even a little bit of mustard and parsley, why not? All that will, it's all gonna make contact with the meat and help with more flavor. So, back this down a bit. Now I'm gonna take my pork loin, that into there, and now wine. There we go. What the heck? Throw it all in there. Now I will take my lid just out of the sink. We will close this and put this into a cold oven, 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and roast it for 1 hour. Well, now after that 1 hour, we just pulled it out. I always recommend letting it sit for about 20 to 30 minutes before slicing into it. Couple reasons. You want the clay pot to rest, to cool down. Ambient temperature of your kitchen is obviously a lot cooler than the oven. So allow that to acclimate a little bit, that 20 minutes or so, and then remove it, slice, and serve. Well, there you have another one of my versions of a pork roulade. Very simple, not difficult at all. Amazing flavor to it, I can assure you. Kind of like, as I mentioned, a little bit of a riff on a porchetta. Clay pot cooking. Keep in mind the things that I said. It's always a wet cooking process. It's never dry. Do not sear in it. Always cold product into the cold pot, into the cold oven. Never put it into a preheated oven. These tips and stuff like that I will put down below in the description as well. Also, I have another video showing clay pot cooking, and I believe it's another Iberico pork neck or something like that. I can't remember. So, well, that is it. I hope you enjoyed the demonstration. Give it a shot. Let me know how it turns out for you. And clay pot cooking is so much fun. It just adds such a great authenticity to it and a really rustic feel. Thanks for joining. You had fun.